What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Jericho Report Weekly News Briefing. It is the 15th of November, 2014, Saturday. As always, first link below is going to take you to the Blogspot post. That's where you can find all the madness I'm going to give you. First of all, did it get cold where you are? It went from fall to winter in just a couple hours in St. Louis. I see there's snow all over the place. It's just a mess. They weren't lying about that polar vortex. Let's get on with the news. Don't really have a lead story this week. I'm going to start with Ebola. New York Ebola case won't be the last, says the White House. Do they know something we don't? Apparently Ebola-free across the United States right now. The White House is expecting more, though, I bet. That from the Hill. Meanwhile, I got another strange one when it comes to Ebola. UN encourages travel to vibrant Ebola-hit West Africa. What? Encourages travel? I don't know. This come out from AFP via Yahoo News, 12 November. Put a link to it. They're encouraging people to travel there. Michael Brown's parents address UN. We need the world to know. I think the world does know. The fact that they're saying hands up, don't shoot in China, that's powerful. That message went around the planet. In my opinion, we do not need the UN involved in the United States police state any more than they already are. Remember, the UN Guns Trade Treaty goes into effect, the 24th of December this year? Anyway, I'll put a link to that. Other Ferguson news. Back in the U.S., we got Ferguson resident says we are getting prepared for war. All sides are. We got the National Guard on standby. You got people boarding up windows, people making Molotov cocktails. Ku Klux Klan members are talking about they're going to come into Ferguson and start plowing black people down. I mean, this is just going to be a mess when this grand jury thing. It's just, man, I don't even want to think about it. I'll put that link, though. People gearing up for war for sure. Other news going on. Broken plane this week. Bono's plane loses hatch before landing in Berlin. Wow. Bono, what's going on with your plane crew, man? Meanwhile, explosives found at bridge near Arizona border with Mexico. What up with that? That's from Breitbart on the 11th of November. Something else found this week. Fox executive's body found more than 2 years after he went missing. I wonder who he pissed off. I'll put a link to that. That's Fox 43 local media. I don't know. I got one more in the, be advised, silent killer bug now on the loose in the United States being called the new AIDS. The new AIDS. You want to be aware of that article from Ad World. Come out November 9, 2014. Over to financial news. How the Dow Jones Industrials did on Friday. Looks like it was pretty flat, slipped 18 points. For the week, it was up 60 points, 17,634. I'm telling you, we're going to get 18,000 on the Dow, and I'm going to just get up and start dancing just because it's entertaining. JP Morgan to cut 3,000 more jobs. This from the Wall Street Journal. I don't see a date on this. They want you to subscribe to read more. I don't even have to Google that. I'm not going to pay for their crap. Google buys $1.16 billion. I'm sorry, Google pays $1.16 billion to lease NASA airbase for robots, planes, and space exploration. Yeah, I bet Google drones over a home near you really soon. NYC audit home residents asked to repay FEMA Sandy aid. Good luck with that. FEMA wants their monies back. It's so Barack Obama can put gas in his plane. See, critics say, Critics say city conducted homeless sweep for Hawaii 5-0. Apparently, out in Hawaii, they're getting rid of homeless people so that they can shoot new Hawaii 5-0. That's just wonderful. Speaking of Obama, we got Brisbane hotel strips entire floor to ensure Barack Obama's security at the G20. I got to put gas in my plane, clear that floor. FEMA, pay your monies back, and all that. Telegraph, Putin stockpiles gold as Russia prepares for economic war. This come out on 13 November. I got another one on that coming up in the World War III bin. This is how stupid they think you are, America. Obamacare architect, this is Fox News. Obamacare architect says lack of transparency helped law pass. Remember how you showed up at all those town halls and we don't want Obamacare and they did it anyway? Lack of transparency helped it pass. And he cites, the architect of Obamacare cites stupidity of the American voter. Think about that. I'll put that link. This isn't financial related, but related to stupidity. Virus that makes humans more stupid discovered. Over to New World Order Police State News now. Sad to say, I've got a lot of it. Mother calls police to help her son take his medicine. Cop shows up and shoots him. This out of Florida, October 29. I'll put a link to it. Tragic story here out of Texas. 2-year-old taken away from parents because they used marijuana was killed by the foster mother. This posted November 6, Fox 43 local. Tragedy. Justice Department spy planes spy on most American cell phones. Apparently, there's these new things they got now on these planes that are scanning your cell phones from the skies, all under the guise of looking and tracking criminals. More of the same in police state America. Speaking of that, they are now pushing a wearable embedded tattoo concept design to make life easier. Of course it makes life easier. Oh, I love how it's in the shape of a pentagon. Check that out. That come out November 4. Wearable RFID tattoos to unlock your phone and all this. Make your life easier. Next thing will be RFID chips implanted. We all know that, though. Obama calls for tougher internet regulation. This is from Hawaii News Now on November 10. Enjoy this tool we have to communicate. We won't have it forever. I saw another story this week about how he's trying to get the FCC to classify the internet as a utility, so we will be billed by usage or something like that. The World Post has this: Obama calls on China to be a partner in ensuring world order. What world order are you talking about? New world order? I know that's just a crazy concept. Check this out. Speaking of a new world order, school tells kids they need to stop praying to Jesus and singing Amazing Grace during their free time. This came out November 10. Now, you might say separation of church and state. Did you see the thing this week? Look over in my favorites. They're praising Allah on the House floor. You got to go check that video. That's in my favorites. Anyway, another one to go with the last one. Idaho City to Christian pastors: perform same-sex weddings or face jail time. I understand same-sex marriage is legal, and myself, I don't have a problem with two people being happy and living forever. But how do you force upon the church against their belief system, do this or go to jail? I'd really like people's thoughts on that. That from the Daily Caller. Other stuff going on. Let's see. Did you see the cop that slapped the kid? Where was this? Somewhere in New York State. Well, the cop has since been arrested because the video went viral all over the internet. And I got one to go with that. FBI report says Americans are less violent than ever, except for the police. While violence among citizens has dropped, violence against citizens carried out by police has been rising sharply. This from the Free Thought Project, but that is an FBI report. You can find it all over the internet. Over to World War III news. Ukraine could explode in the next 48 hours. This posted on November 10. Well, it's the 15th now, so Ukraine didn't explode, but a lot's going on in Ukraine that the mainstream media is not telling you about. That from the Daily Beast, to put a link to that. Russia is about to park long-range bombers a little too close to home. Is this the one about Russia flying bombers over the Gulf Coast or something like that? I'll put a link to that. Meanwhile, Netanyahu warns P5+1 away from deal with unreformed Iran. Anybody remember years ago when Netanyahu drew that bomb and it's like Iran enrichment of uranium and all this? Well, it's long since past that, and Iran hasn't blown up Israel, so I don't know. Why the U.S. sent C-17 to Chinese air show despite concerns inside the Pentagon? Apparently we're worried about them getting our technology, but Obama's like, no, China's all good. 3 U.S. Navy sailors attacked on shore. Did you see this? Turkey saying, Yankee, go home. U.S. Navy sailors that weren't even in uniform, I don't believe. That from the Washington Times. That kind of goes to show what people think about America around the world. Well, America playing world police and blowing up brown people all over the world. People are starting to get pissed off. Speaking of Turkey, though, 4 Turkish terrorists caught in Texas after being smuggled across the border. This from the Washington Times as well. I think they got video on that. November 12th. Speaking of terrorist attacks, check this out. I got a couple that are kind of bizarre. New York Post puts this out. FBI warns of attack similar to 2008 Mumbai. This came out November 13th. Apparently, New York is worried about the city burning down. I'll put a link to that. Meanwhile, Top Hacker says Chicago nuke attack planned for 2015. Over to Earth changes in 2012 news now. Looks like we haven't had too many big quakes. We had on 11/12 we had a 4.8 in Kansas. That was kind of significant for that area. Had a 6.6 in Papua New Guinea. That was back on the 7th. I'll put the link from the USGS. Big quakes on the left, small quakes on the right. A lot of 4 points and 3 points. A couple 5 points going on out there as well. Put that link. Speaking of earthquakes, I did find this interesting this week. The Daily Beast put this out. Silicon Valley mansion swallowed alive. Low-level seismic activity. I know Marshall Masters did a lot of 2012 videos back in the day talking about painted rust and low-level seismic activity. Well, it's pulling this whole area apart. Houses are just falling apart and crumbling. We got traces of Fukushima radiation detected off California coast, November 12, 2014. Pretty sure a lot of us were talking about that years ago. Where you been, Yahoo News? Meanwhile, on the other coast, East Coast, possible sinkhole displaces 6 families, swallows car. I believe that happened in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, mysterious stinky fog descends on Moscow. What's up with that? That's kind of weird. I don't see a date on it. I know that happened this past week, though. I saw that all over the news. Dead fish in Rio Olympic Bay baffle scientists. This came out November 8. Be advised, fish kill. We also had that thing this week. Here's what a comet 317 million miles away looks like. That spacecraft that landed on that comet. Absolutely awesomeness. That's the kind of thing that we could be doing a lot more of if we weren't busy fighting wars around this planet. We should be exploring space. So shout out to them for landing that thing on that comet. I watched that live. That was just absolutely awesome. Something else that happened that kind of got shoved in the background. Soyuz spacecraft returned space station crew to Earth. This happened on November 10, 2014 from Space.com. Over to strange and bizarre news. Got some strange news this week. Woman claims Monster Energy drink is the work of Satan. I'm not sure where this happened or this website, but they got a video on that. Work of Satan, Monster Energy drinks. Meanwhile, speaking of Satan, did you see this? This dollar store owner says Evil Stick has sold out. Apparently, people are buying these cheap children's toys and selling them on eBay for big money. Whoever the sick bastard is that thought this up, a magic wand with a picture of a girl slitting her wrist. I mean, this is just absolutely beyond bizarre. This came out November 11 from Ohio Local News. They got video on that. If you haven't seen the Evil Stick thing, it's disturbing. I don't know what else to say. Man freed after being trapped in wall for 3 days. This out of Colorado. He was trapped in the wall of a Marshall's. What was he trying to do? Was he trying to rob the place? I don't know. Meanwhile, jewel thief who snatched $250,000 worth of valuables caught after leaving his mobile phone at the scene of the crime with a picture of himself as his screensaver. Derp a derp. That from the Mail Online. I don't know where that happened at. 90 pounds of cocaine found on cargo ship owned by anti-drug senator's family. This come out November 8th. I'll put a link to that. What else is new? Meanwhile, here's one to finish off this strange and bizarre news this week. Arkansas governor to pardon his own son. On his way out, Arkansas governor is going to pardon his son's marijuana conviction. Conflict of interest much? For all of the news, please check out my favorite videos. I have favorited lots of videos this week. At least pull it up and check over the title, see if there's anything you don't know about. Thank you to everybody who puts out content. I do appreciate you. Got several shout-outs this week. Shout-out to the FDNY. Rescues 2 workers from dangling from scaffolding at the New World Trade Center. They performed an amazing rescue. Big shout-out to them. Shout-out to the 90-year-old man down in Florida who says he's going to keep feeding the homeless as long as there's breath in his body despite arrests. He's been arrested several more times. I covered that last week. Big shout-out. Much love to him. Shout-out to the world's biggest sandcastle. Artist builds amazing giant sandcastle in world record bid. Check that thing out. I just thought that was awesome. I had to throw this in here because that's amazing. Shout out to the armed customer who stopped robbery at Texas Subway restaurant. That came out November 12. Big shout out to all my friends in Texas doing the open carry thing. And shout out to South Park and YorkHam.org. For those of you who like South Park, I understand it's not for everybody, but those who like that show, there is now a channel open on YorkHam.org where you can watch South Park and chat with other people 24 hours a day. South Park on all the time. Big shout out to Free Loving American on all the work he has done for that YorkHam.org. Also a great place if you're looking for some place to live stream. Check out YorkHam.org. Set up an account over there and go live. Definitely looking for more traffic. If you know anybody that's looking for a place to live stream, send them the link. Anyway, that's all I got for this week, guys. If you'd like to report, please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you can suck this, the worst of YouTube you never want to see again. Please rate, though. It helps it move around. I appreciate it. You can also follow me on Facebook, Google, Twitter, Facebook, Google+, Twitter. I think I said that right. For live show alerts, breaking news alerts, new upload alerts. People tell me they sub me, but they don't get my uploads. Follow me over there. You'll always get them. I post them as soon as they're live. That's all I got. Another week of madness. What's to come with Ferguson and, Obama's out of the country at the G20 for the next week or whatever. I'm always worried when he's out of the country something might go down. I don't know. What are your thoughts on all this madness, though? Till the next one, you guys take care, stay safe. I will see you all in the next one.